for this dish, I have some yellow yams, a scotch bonnet pepper, some pimento seeds. I got some dried thyme, some salt. My soup mix, I'm using the Gray's Cot noodle soup mix and the Gray's chicken noodle soup mix. I have some corn here, my pot of boiling water. I got my potatoes, my carrots, and my onions. So this is a pretty quick dish. So everything here is going to go in all at once, and then we're going to make our spinners, which are like dumplings. So I'm going to go ahead and add my corn right into there. I'm going to add my thyme. You can add it however way you want, whichever goes first. I'm going to add... You might want to add your salt gradually. Sometimes you won't even need it because this will be enough. I'm just going to add all of that in there, but it depends on how big of a portion you're making. Then I'm going to add all my potatoes in here and my carrots and my onions and my yams. Everything else in here. So I'm going to go ahead and let these cook out for a bit until they're a little bit soft, and then I'm going to blend them up, and this will also help to give the soup its orange color. So you want this to boil. So in the meantime, we're going to go grab our flour and start to prepare our spinners. So I have my plate of flour here, and then I have my little cup of water, and I'm just going to gradually add the water. You don't want to add too much at once, and the key to this is to try to bring the flour together into a nice little dough. So I use like a mixing motion to help the flour to collect the water. And then I just add water as I go. If you're confident, add more than just a little, but if this is your first time, I would recommend you gradually, slowly add little at a time, just till you get the hang of it. And then as you pick up and it starts to form into a kind of dough-like shape, you just use your fingers to just bring it over. You're just kneading the dough into itself. Eventually, when you have a whole dough, you're going to use the palm of your hands to press it. And you just spin it. If you find that it's too wet, just add a little more flour. And if you find that it's too dry, just add more water. And you want to knead it as much as possible. Some parts might feel too wet and some parts might feel too dry. That's okay, just keep kneading it. It'll eventually collect over the other sides. And then with the palm of my hands, I'm going to begin to knead my dough. So just kneading it with the palm of my hands, just kneading it over. So using the palm and just press inward. And then as you notice, I'll do this wiping motion. This is for the sticky parts of my dough. I'm using it to collect the flour that's in the bowl. And you want to just knead everything in. Add your water. And just knead. Collect everything in the bowl. It will be nice if at the end your bowl is pretty clean, but if it's not, don't worry about it. I definitely didn't learn this overnight. You want to knead as much as possible to ensure that the middle of the dough isn't too dry. So my dough's getting there. It is a little bit wet, and I'm just going to knead it some more before I add any more flour to it, just to ensure there's no dry spots in the middle or anywhere else. Now I'm going to gradually add a little bit of flour to help with that wetness, and then I'm going to go ahead and go back to kneading. And as I knead, it's collecting all of that flour, and as you see, it's forming a nice perfect dough. It's not too dry. You break it apart, it's just right inside. So you just want to continue kneading that. Don't knead your dough too much unless you want your dumplings really tough. As you see, my dough is getting nice and soft, and it's looking really good. You can break it apart and there's no dry spots inside, and that's what you want. You want it to be as moist as possible but not too wet, and nice and fluffy and soft. So once you're done, you want to just pinch a part of your dough, and we're making spinners. So what you want to do is just roll it against your fingers like this. Just roll it in your hands. That's all you got to do. And as you roll it, it'll start to take this almost like elongated shape. These are what we call spinners, and that's it. You just drop them in your pot. So again, you pinch. You roll. If you find that it's too sticky, just dust your hands with a little bit of flour. Mine is perfect. The dough is not too sticky. It's just perfect. And then you just want to roll it. The more you roll, the longer it gets. And then you have perfect spinners, and you drop it right in your pot. And that's it. Just continue doing that until you have a whole bunch of spinners in your pot. You can make regular shaped dumplings. I'm gonna make elongated ones and some circle ones just for the fun of it for the kids. I like when the food's a little bit fun for them, so I'm just gonna make circular ones. So just little bite-sized ones that you can just hop in their mouth and they're good to go. You just spin it in a little ball and just, it's perfect. I just finished making all my dumplings. It smells amazing so far. I'm just gonna give this a quick little spin. I make a lot of dumplings because this is our favorite part of the soup. We absolutely love the dumpling, and we don't like the meat so much all the time, so there's no meat in the soup. But if you want meat in yours, go ahead and put it in all means. It is really up to you and what you prefer, but this is like a meatless soup, and it's really good. If you have some mushrooms, throw it in here as well. My mushrooms are all done, so that's why I don't have any to add in here. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove my carrots now, because it is time to blend these bad boys up. This will help add to the flavor of the soup and thicken it up, and also give it a darker, more orange color. So I'm taking mine out a little bit early. If you have a good blender, it'll be okay, but if not, you want to let them cook until they're a little bit soft. You don't have to remove all your carrots. You can cut them up into small little cubes and put them in here as well. It's still super delicious. I blended it up. I just added a little bit of water, so I'm going to add it all back now. Tell me that doesn't look yummy. Looks amazing. Alright, I'm going back to my movie. So like I said, just half tilt it. You want to cover it, then it will boil over, and you don't want that. So this is good. Help to create a little bit of steam at the same time, but let the steam out. It's been about 15 minutes so far. So I'm going to go ahead and just check on it. Looks really good. It's getting thicker. Smells amazing. As you see, our dumplings have started to float. When dumplings float to the top, it means that they are cooked. Hey, Bubby. Okay, you want to make sure you taste it to make sure that the salt part of it is just the way you want it. Yep. You're going to have soup when it's done, okay? So it's been about 20 minutes. I'm going to go and check on this now. Give it a nice little spin. You want to make sure you continuously come back to give it a little spin, just to ensure that nothing really sticks to the bottom. It smells amazing. As you can notice, it's definitely thickened up. Scotch bonnet pepper still looking good, hasn't burst or anything. At this stage you can go ahead and take it out just so you don't forget it in your pot. But our soup is looking pretty good. You can enjoy it here, but I'm gonna let mine cook down for about 10 extra minutes, and then we'll say it's complete. But it's definitely thickened up nicely in 20 minutes. Looking really good, and it smells amazing. So that is the soup recipe, guys. I hope you guys enjoy.